Welcome back today, friends. Today is Saturday and I'm going to be making some some plain muffins, and then I'm going to throw blueberries into the second batch. We're going to take them along on our large family trip. So this will be for breakfast on a Wednesday morning when we get to where we're going, and I'll just throw it in the freezer and then we'll put it in the cooler, and then the day that we need it, they'll be ready and they'll be defrosted and ready to eat. Alright, so to this large bowl, I'm going to add a bunch of flour. I'm doing this recipe 5 times, so we're going to figure out how many cups of flour that happens to be. Each recipe is 1.5. So we've got 1.5. That's 3. That's 4.5. That's 6. Seven and a half. All right, that's 7.5 cups of flour. Okay, I think I'm gonna get one of my bigger bowls out. All right, so I've got my big bowl. You can kind of see the size difference here. I don't feel like there's any reason to push this bowl, so we're just going to put the flour in here. And then I'll just rinse that out. There we go. Alright, and to this we're going to add our sugar. Each recipe has, it calls for 3/4 cup of sugar. And I'm not going to put that much in, but we're going to get it going here. Let me get my flour put away. And, oh, I need to refill my sugar. Okay. Alright, so we got the sugar refilled. Okay, so like I said, each recipe calls for 3/4 cup of sugar. Doing this recipe 5 times, so that's 1.5, that's for double the recipe. That is quadrupling it. That is enough sugar. We do not need a ton of sugar in these muffins for breakfast. All right. Okay, next is baking powder, and it is 2 teaspoons per recipe. So 5 times 2 is 10. We know that 3 teaspoons are in a tablespoon. So I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons. That's 3, 6, 9. And then I need an extra teaspoon. Alright, this is a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to dump that in there, and now we got a total of 1 extra. Next up is salt. We're going to need, it's a 1/2 teaspoon per recipe, so we're going to need 2.5 teaspoons. And I have no idea where my teaspoon is, so 1/2, 1, 1/2, 2.5. So we're working with a smaller measurement this time, at this point. And that's okay. Alright, so those are all the dry ingredients. So I'm just going to kind of give these a stir real quick. Alright, I've mixed up all my dry ingredients, so now we're going to get to the wet ingredients. So it is, we're going to put oil in next. And it is 1/3 cup for each recipe. So we need, let's see, a cup and 2/3. So let's see if I can find that on here. Most of my writing on here has worn off. Which one? This side. So we got got about 1 2/3. Dump that in there. I'm going to keep this handy for the milk because that's coming up. We need 1 egg per recipe, so I need a total of 5 eggs. I went ahead and grabbed the milk while I was in there. All right. So I can set these down without breaking a bunch of them. All right. So we have 5 eggs, and then again they call for about 1 2/3 cup of milk, so we like a little bit thinner of a muffin, so I'm going to put in just a little bit extra. All right. I'm just kind of chopping up my eggs a little bit so that they incorporate a little nicer. All right, let's stir this all together. All right, woo! That went crazy. Okay, I can already tell this is going to be a little drier than what I want, so I'm just going to add some more milk. I actually got this recipe off of allrecipes.com, and I will try to link that below. It's a recipe. It's called To Die For Blueberry Muffins. And you can make it with, you know, like what I did here. You can make it with far less sugar than it calls for, and it still tastes just as good. You'll just get less or fewer muffins out of the mix, which is fine with me. But since we use them as a breakfast muffin, I really don't want them full of sugar. And I have actually swapped out whole wheat flour for the white flour. I just don't happen to have any at the moment, so we're using all-purpose flour. Okay, still a couple lumps in there, but that's okay. That makes it good. And now we're going to put it into our muffin pan. And here's 2 muffin pans. I've just got them stacked. This is a 24 one. And like I said, I have 2 of them here. Sadness, I only have a few muffin cups. So we're going to see how far these go and go from there. I cannot believe I ran myself out of muffin cups. I cannot remember the last time we did not have muffin liners in the house. And I actually just use muffin liners because it saves time cleaning the pans. And it's very, very helpful to me. Okay, well, there was only 10 of those. So I guess we're going to spray the rest of this and, yeah, go from there. All right. Okay, and now we're going to ladle in the muffin batter. Let's see if I can do it from over here. So the reason I'm making a whole tray of them plain, I have, 3 kids, maybe 4. 3 or 4 kids who just do not care for blueberries in their muffins. If that's the only option, they will eat it, with the exception of one kid. He does not care for blueberries in his muffins at all. So I make some plain before I put the blueberries in, and everybody's happy. You getting upset? My baby's hanging out here on the floor with me. I think he's starting to get upset. Even with the extra milk, this batter is still pretty thick, so that's very, very nice. All right. All right, that's gonna go in the oven, and the rest of this, we'll throw some blueberries in here and fill the second tray. And these are the blueberries that we get from Azure Standard, and I'm not even really gonna measure it. I'm just gonna kind of dump a bunch in here, and we're gonna call it good. I think Jamerl Stewart likes to say eyeballing school, and that's definitely what I just did. That's definitely eyeballing school, so there's that. All right, so we'll stir that up real quick. That's my dishwasher beeping and telling me that it is done and full of clean dishes now. Yay. So thankful for modern conveniences that make my life a lot simpler. I don't care to do dishes for 9 people. Baby's not eating food yet, or table food anyway. Okay, so the blueberries are all stirred in. Now I'm gonna spray my pan here and get the blueberry muffin batter in. Same method here, we can fill these up. The batter's gonna obviously be a little thicker because the blueberries are completely frozen. So, in a way it kind of makes it easier to get it into the pan because you're not slopping everywhere. I'm gonna get 24 muffins out of this. It's okay. I'm close. All right, good enough. I'm going to take these lovely muffin trays and put them right into the oven. Oh wow, that's heavy to do one-handed. All right, I've got that one. And the second one. All right, those are gonna bake for probably 20 to 25 minutes. We'll check them here, but I bake them large batch, so the cooking times definitely shift.
I'm sorry they hit.
All right, I took the, please be quiet, please be quiet. Took these out of the oven a little while ago, and this is how they are looking. The bottom one got a little bit more done than the top did, but they're still perfectly cooked and they're gonna be delicious. We're actually gonna probably use half of these for breakfast tomorrow morning, and then the other half we will pack away in the freezer and use when we get to our destination on Wednesday morning.